Hey everybody, John Ramdeen and Robin Black in our downtown studios. The UFC returns to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Sunday, February 19th. A heavyweight showdown. Derek Lewis taking on your guy, Travis Brown, in the main event. There's been a love affair between mixed martial arts and the East Coast for so long. I think it's one of those the areas of Canada that doesn't get enough love. When we think about mixed martial arts, we think about Quebec because of Georges St. Pierre and the ties to the UFC, Ontario, and some of the fighters there, as well as the West Coast. Why do people forget about the Maritimes?
I think it's, well, first of all, the Maritimes is beautiful, and there's no friendlier human beings in the world than people from the East Coast of Canada. But the population is small, and the influence with media and the influence, television, all of those things is small. So they don't get the word out. But, you know, the beauty of that is you can sort of grow and evolve and develop in secret a little bit, so that by the time you come out, I mean, by the time any of these guys popped out and started fighting out in the rest of the country, people are like, wow, they come from where? TJ who? Like, you know, some of these guys were developed as spectacular fighters, and in Halifax in particular, there's been a couple of great gyms in
Titan.
Fit Plus and Titan, and whenever you have two great gyms, we have the same in Winnipeg, we have the same in a number of places, a couple of key gyms are able, they have someone to compete with as they come up, and that was a real key to Halifax. But man, as far as Travis and Derek Lewis, I got a breakdown coming up this weekend where I sat down with Travis to dig into looking at Derek Lewis's game. So it was really fun.
Getting ready for Halifax, I had the chance to put together, with the great help of the people here at FN, a special looking at some of the fights and some of the fighters and some of the big names that had a chance to perform in Halifax and the East Coast. And it's just been remarkable. You see Rory McDonald and Tarek Saffiedine. These guys threw down, and because of the brotherhood that is mixed martial arts, Tarek Saffiedine, I couldn't beat Rory McDonald, so we ended up traveling to TriStar to work with Rory McDonald and expand his skill set, which is amazing considering this guy from Belgium, worked with Dan Henderson and Team Quest for so many years, was a Strikeforce champion, and he still wants to grow as a mixed martial artist. We already mentioned TJ Grant. This guy, it's just unfortunate that so many fighters work for years and years and years trying to become a jiu-jitsu black belt, round out their Muay Thai, learn how to wrestle in the brutal game of wrestling. You go through mixed martial arts, you make your way to the UFC, you get your crack at the championship. And unfortunately, this brutal game sometimes doesn't allow you to realize a dream. Yep,
the forks in the road of life, man. He's got a great family, and all kinds of different things come from stepping out of that. But of course, you're sitting there thinking, man, because the position that TJ Grant was in, ready to fight for the title, we had guys like Wagner Fabiano coming, hey, who do you think's going to win this? He's like, you don't understand, man. I've traveled all around the world. Nobody's in better shape. Nobody's sharper right now than TJ Grant. But all of that doesn't develop in a vacuum. I fought out in Moncton, and there were thousands of people for a tiny fight show. Elite One, not fair to say it's a tiny fight show. It was one of the great shows out in the East Coast. But in a small Moncton, New Brunswick, which is a very small city, you're able to get thousands of people out hungry for mixed martial arts. So the East Coast is alive and doing very, very well in fighting in this country.
And some cool things happening at the show in Halifax. Gavin Tucker making his UFC debut, undefeated Canadian who we've heard about for years and years, as well as the younger brother of one of the world famous trainers, Firas Zahabi, Ayman Zahabi, and he feels, my goal is to go out there and look sharp. He says he loves the nerves because he knows the spotlight is on him. The teammate of Rory McDonald and Georges St. Pierre. He says this is the thing that he loves so much, and the job is to go out and knock out his opponent.
Great performance is achieved by moving towards the fear, and Ayman knows that very, very well. I'm excited to see him do his thing. We're going to, again, talk as long as injuries and life and the many variables don't get themselves involved. We're going to be talking about Ayman and his path as a high-level UFC fighter for years now.
Halifax, Nova Scotia goes down February 19th, UFC returning to downtown.